Alright. Sorry about that. The old cliche work before the meeting. I don't know, I didn't even test it, so I don't know if it did or not. But, so we're going to see some videos here. We may or may not see about a 3-minute video that the NCAA just put out for us to look at. So if you notice in some of these clips, the shirts that we're wearing right there are our current shirts for college women's basketball. Some of the videos you're going to see have the striped shirts on that we used to wear 3 years ago. Well, the reason for that is because I went to find videos of flopping, and I can't find hardly any, right? And so I say that because I wasn't here last meeting, but I understand there was a lot of commotion about what are we doing. Make it simple. Keep this thing simple. Once you start getting in the weeds about this, the train is off the tracks. I guarantee it. And we're going to look at some of these videos, and I will tell you, you're going to hear some people say, if there's no, or if there is contact, there's no flop. That is not true. That is not true. Okay? We have something in our game called incidental contact. This is a contact sport. Because somebody makes contact, well, we can't have a flop. That is incorrect. Think of it this way. Don't think of it that way, because that's what a lot of people say. Well, if there's contact, we can't have a flop. Don't think of it that way. If a kid is trying to fool you into calling a foul for them, 9 times out of 10, that's a fake. All right, we're going to see some pretty good examples, both this last year and year before. I will tell you, this was the first year we had it in our league. And the men had it a year before, we had it this year. I saw 2 that I would have deemed a flop, right? One of them I got wrong. And we're going to see that video. I called it a flop, it's not a flop. It's all about angles. Don't guess on these things. If you're having a guess, don't call a flop. Simple. If you want to put a foul on somebody, put a foul on somebody. Don't guess on a flop. This is a huge penalty. I will tell you something else. When this came into our game, which is coming into the high school game this year, kids quit doing it because it's a big penalty. You get one, you get another, and we'll see a video, technical foul. In our game, you lose the ball. You don't even get the ball back, no matter what the arrow is, right? So it's a tough penalty, okay? All right, so let's look at a few plays. This play's going to happen right in the middle of the paint. Kid's going to take a block charge. I'm the lead official actually on this play. This is actually a play that I probably should have called a flop on. See how the kid goes to the side? She doesn't go to and through that person. This kid's trying to take a charge and trying to fool me. Okay, that is a flop. If your eyebrow goes up, you go, trying to fool you, that's a flop. Okay, it's a warning the first time. The second one better be a very good flop. Okay, first one you can probably get away with if it's marginal, but don't guess on these plays. Okay, if you process this and you say, they're trying to fool me, they're trying to bait me into calling the charge on this play, then call a flop. I bet they want to do it again. Okay? Alright, let's look at one more. Okay? Will you skip that one, please? That's a you make the call later. Pretty easy. Alright, this is a call right here. I called a flop. I'm the lead official, and I call this a flop. This is not a flop. Number one, it's too much contact, okay? So, here's another nugget. Because someone exaggerates, doesn't mean it's not a foul, okay? If I have space and I'm legal and I maintain the legal guarding position, you throw your elbow into me, it's not a flop. I call this a flop, this is not a flop. This is an offensive foul. This should be an offensive foul on white 1. That kid got position, legal guarding, maintained, got knocked down. She wasn't trying to fool me, she got knocked down. But she fooled me. Because I called it a flop. Alright, there's another angle of it. This is my angle. This will show you how bad it is. Yank. Elbow right in the chest. Right? And that's Iowa State's best player, by the way. I called a flop on her. That was cool. Coach Finley wasn't very happy. Yeah, Coach Finley, but he was pissed. Yeah, he's been pissed at me before, though. So, this is not a flop, alright? So we're trying to figure out what a flop is and what a flop isn't. I guessed on this play, because I saw a reaction. Don't guess. See the whole play. Alright, next one. Alright, if everybody gets this one right, we're going to be in good shape. That's right. Yeah, that's terrible. At its finest, Davenport University played Michigan State. Hey, I gave my little official kudos on this because this was an exhibition game. She got it right out of the box. First exhibition game of the year didn't even really count. Okay, that is a flop if you didn't know. Alright, if you're having a hard time discerning, that's textbook flopping. Trying to take a charge and barely got touched. Okay, so, but to my point earlier, incidental contact. If you try to fool me, that is a flop. Until they go to and through, this is not an option.
She was trying to have that early.
Yeah, well, she could have got one very easily in the fourth quarter too, if they hadn't been down by 70. All right. Yep.
Whoa.
Is that the first one? No. Yep. Go back. Go back to the start. Where keep going. I think there's confusions. Yeah. Keep going. All right. So this is a bad actor. How many people say double flop? Give them like a double foul, double flop. I don't even know if it exists, but we should have gave one. Yeah. Okay. We ended up calling a foul on this play. It's not a good foul. It's a flop on somebody. You know, like you're 100% wrong if you don't call a flop. You're 50-50 if you call it on gray or black. So call it on somebody. If they're trying to fool you, that translates into a flop.
Who's the foul you called?
Okay, they called the foul on black. Yeah, they said we were holding her. She was holding her to start with. It's incidental contact, I would say. That's not rough post play. Not even in our game, which you breathe on somebody, right? So this is a flop. So just get whoever. Guess on it. Don't guess on it, but guess on the player. All right. Yeah, give them both a flop. That'd be cool. All right, here's a good one. Okay. What do you think? Blocking foul? How many say blocking foul? How many say flop? I think it's a blocking foul. Okay? Don't get confused. Look, she's got legal guard. She did not get legal as she changed directions. She's still moving. Never got 2 feet down facing. That's illegal. That's an illegal defender. Okay? So again, don't guess on these. If your spidey sense is going, God, that's terrible defense, call a block on it. Don't call it a flop. Call it a flop. Right? That way you can score a basket and do all that stuff. All right? Okay, here's a good one. All right. So the key here is she extend her arm? Maybe. Coach doesn't think so. How many say offensive foul?
Terrible language.
Okay, how many say flop? Okay. Don't put a no call in this. Who said no call? There we go. I was waiting on it. So, hey, this is too much contact. It's something. It's either a flop or it's an offensive foul. I like offensive foul on play, right? I don't think she's trying to fool. Remember, that's the key. Is she trying to fool somebody? I think she's thinking about it until she gets the forearm in the chest. Okay? She cleared space. Remember, if I exaggerate, that doesn't mean that I'm wrong. I can exaggerate illegal contact, which I feel that was. Okay? Next one. All right, how many got offensive foul on this one? How many got flop? Yeah, she definitely traveled first, right? She did your money off.
I know Jason would call that.
Yeah, so ignore the travel, okay? Because it wasn't called. Alright, and again, if you notice, Angie has on the stripes. This is before the rule was in place for us, so it was either a no call or a foul. We didn't have the flop, but this is a good flop. This is a flop. If you notice, the offensive player kind of pivots away from her. That's a flop. Okay? We need to give that signal. Okay? Alright. Yeah, so hold on. If you're a trail and you're working three-person, that's your call. I heard somebody say,
After you miss the travel.
to travel, there's the lead standing right on it. Travels are trails, calls, and a post in three-person mechanics. Okay? Your only job is to get to the feet at trail. Let lead above the waist go. Right? So, that is not lead's call on the travel. That is lead's call on the block. Alright? How many say flop? Yeah. I think I agree. You gotta give her a place to land, number one. If she took real contact, are we calling an offensive foul? She gotta give her a place to land. So it's gotta be a blocking foul. If you choose this to be a foul, it's gotta be a block. You gotta give a kid a chance to land on their own 2 feet. She didn't beat her to the spot. I can't help that.
So philosophy,
Yeah.
and now these wins, we have any no call in these situations? Like right there, you call a block, you're taking away.
It's a good question. So the question was, are we ever going to have a no call? I think there's places where you're going to have a no call, right? I had a play earlier last year, where a kid was not trying, well, they were going to take a charge, and then they said, oh my God, this train's fixing to run over me. So they tried to get out of the way. That wasn't trying to fool me. There was a little bit of contact, but the kid made it to the basket, play on, right? So it was a no call, even though there was a little bit of contact.
And I want to ask you, I know these high school coaches are going to say that.
Right.
You don't have a flop, but you don't have a call there, so.
Yeah, I think it's okay to not have a call at all on these plays. Remember, if a kid is trying to fool you into calling a foul on them, it is a flop by rule. right? If a kid's not, they're honestly trying to take a charge, and somebody sidesteps them and whatever, you could have a good call. I agree.
It's still content.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
Not all incidental contact is a lot. Okay? Let's don't get those lines blurry. Keep it simple. Okay? All right, here's another pretty good play. Yeah, so I don't know if she's like seeing the train coming and goes, oh boy, I better get out of the way. She's like, I'm gonna sit down on this one, right? Yeah, like, that's terrible. That's a flop. All day long, that's a flop. She wanted to take the charge and then she tried to fool us by sitting down to go, yeah, I think I made it. No, didn't. Okay? All right, so a lot of these plays here are plays at the basket or going to the basket. So we're going to see a few more here. It's all right, so again, Dexter's going to pull up the NCAA video that they put out for us at Division I to look at this, because there's about a 3-minute clip here of some more videos. First of all, I'm not smart enough to know how to pull it out of there. Second of all, they won't let us. It's embarrassing, so you can't pull this stuff out of there. But we're going to see some videos here on faking being fouled. Right, and there's some going to the basket, there's also some jump shooters, right? So just because it's happening at the rim or the backboard, those are kind of easy. We go, oh yeah. Jump shooters, what's our number one rule as a covering official on jump shooters? Take them up, take them down. They gotta have a place to land. Get your feet, if it gets feet underneath them, it's an automatic foul. Gotta give them a chance to land on the floor. Okay? Alright, so we'll see some jump shooters in this as well. Any questions while we're pulling this up about faking being fouled? Listen. Don't go looking for it. If it presents itself like this Michigan kid here that's set down, then call it flop, right? Or give the signal for a flop. It's a warning the first time. Don't go looking for these. Don't go, oh yeah, try to fool me, didn't you? Stay away from that. You're gonna get in trouble. Coach is gonna go, hey, what is that? And you're not gonna know the definition, and like, stay away from it. Like I said, I worked a bunch of games this year. I saw 2, and I got one of them wrong. They're not as prevalent as I think people want to think they are. Oh, we're going to put in a new rule. Well, I don't know. I don't know how many we had in the NCAA altogether, but it wasn't very many. All right, it's a little bit back from there. Sorry, our internet is not cooperating. Sneak in midfield. So this is a good ribbon down here. It said incidental contact plus embellishment is a faking foul. Okay, remember, that's the key. Incidental contact and embellishment equals faking foul. Right? And sometimes there's not even contact on some of these plays. Right? And Kelly, if we can get this to come up, there's a video in here that's going to address what your question. I don't know if you guys in the back could hear, but he said, What if you have a faking foul?
The fake and the foul committed by the same team will be penalized.
This is the video
Shooter
that Kelly was
simulates being
referring
fouled
to.
on the shot and falls.
So we have
on the
a
court.
faking foul,
And as a result of lying on the court,
didn't get touched,
his opponent as
and
a
then she
man.
tripped the kid.
The official will signal
Right.
a fake and then call the tripping foul. If the team had
So, to Kelly's question earlier, if you have a faking foul during live play, but you don't have a dead ball yet, so you haven't had a chance to report that, you're not gonna ignore other stuff that happened. So, two scenarios. One, I have a faking foul, right, where I get the signal, and then we have a charge, okay? They're gonna get the offensive foul, and they're gonna get the faking. And if it's the second, I think Suzette asked the question, if it's the second one, guess what? They're gonna get an offensive foul and they're gonna get a technical foul. Because the second faking foul of the game for that team results in a technical foul.
Right,
Yes.
I promise you, anybody that calls that right there, you will be scratched before you get to your car.
Well, you know what? You don't need to be scratched, you don't need to be scared to call this. This is a rule, right? If they scratch you, you don't probably want a referee over there anyway, because they don't know the rules, right? So this is a faking foul. The kid does not get touched at all,
Oh, the last 30 years.
right? She's trying to draw a foul. She doesn't get touched. And because she faked, she drug another kid in. That is a foul on
Shooter
her.
makes it appear that the contact by the defender was illegal and that a push through has occurred. Good signal by the trail official indicating the fake, as there was no illegal contact by the defender on this play.
Okay? The screeners are not,
Occurred.
they're not immune, yeah, they're not exempt from doing those types of things as well. So, you'll see that usually like on one of those elevator screens or around the elbows, these kids that are setting screens. Don't get fooled by kids pushing into them. They can't push through them, but they can make
We
contact.
have more than that that we appreciate. They're trying to get that ball to that player that green.
All right, questions about faking being fouled? See a hand up back there? No? No? All right, if we can get the rest of these videos up in the next couple of seconds, we will. If not, I think you get the gist of it. So, just remember, if there's contact, you either are gonna call if it's incidental contact, somebody's faking you out, trying to fake you out, it's a flop. If you deem it incidental contact and they're not, then play on, right? These have to, if you're gonna call a foul, it needs to be a foul. The last, that right there is this one, yeah. Okay,
In place for one season.
all right, here you go, this is a good, terrible,
These deceptive tactics, fouls, where none exist, owe an integrity in the game. The Rules Committee and stakeholders are committed to eliminating faking. While drawing a foul is a legitimate part of play, when no illegal the first offense will result in warning, with subsequent offenses leading to a team technical foul. The signal for faking.
so that one right there, you saw her give the signal, we'd already had one against the team, so as soon as defense got the ball, we had.
Here are some examples.
Okay, here's,
There is a clear
We'll
fake
run
by
through about
Stephen
5 or
Gray
6 right here.
as the defender sitting. Clearly no illegal contact. The official gives the faking signal for this action at the appropriate time. It's officiate the play to the basket and subsequent rebounding act.
So right there is when you would go to
If a
the
previous warning had already been given to the gray team, the officials will withhold the team technical foul for faking until their immediate, or until the ball is tapped or passed away from the basket. Here are some examples of incidental contact followed by embellishment. This is a play to the basket where the offensive player either stops, avoids, or turns away from the defender. incidental contact is present, followed by the defender simulating being fouled and attempting to gain an advantage. Officials need to see the whole play and referee the defense to avoid getting fooled into calling. If this is the first fake by the team, signal immediately and report it to the scorer at the next stoppage of the game clock. It is the responsibility of players and bench personnel to be aware that the warning signal has been given by the officials. Since a warning
Yeah.
One thing I'll ask is, we're not reporting that number, but it's still gonna be important to remember the number even through the long play, to be able to talk to the pitcher like that, correct?
Yeah, I mean, you can, right now, once the play happens, you don't have to report the number, because these are team technical fouls or team warnings now. But if coach asks, yeah, you should be able to say, hey, 13, not that he didn't see it, he probably did, or she probably did, but yeah, you should be able to identify who that player was, you just want to report it, okay? All right, yeah, Rochelle.
Ryan, when you report that, do you go to the table, do you have to show the sign again at the table, or do you just tell the table?
I just tell the table. I don't know what the high school mechanics are. I think it's the same as ours. You can just tell them, you can do it on the spot. You'll do the faking being fouled on the spot, and then when you go to the table, it's a team warning for faking being fouled or flopping. You can use the word flopping too. Okay?
And the mechanic is just not doing this, it's just once, there you go.
One time, is that what you said?
One time.
It's one time, but if you do it twice, we're okay, right? Like, if somebody, because it's twice, I mean, don't do it like 8 times. Yeah, but if you do it twice, or even if it's a tough play, you do it 3 times, like double flop, it's okay. If you do a double flop, it's good.
So it was a good point that Josh just kind of reminded me of, Brian's earlier saying, hey, they're trying to fool you, have those key triggers and thinking you can take as a 50 being fouled to flop. We all grew up into this thing where it's like, hey, get up, get up, get up. If you're having to tell someone to get up, you just might as well give it to them.
I'm trying to do this. Yeah.
You're already doing this.
So, one last thing, and then I'll see if there's any other questions, but you could have a technical foul on this situation before you give a warning to the table, okay? Not before you give a warning. So if a kid tries to take an offensive foul, you do this, and they miss the shot, they get it, and they go right back up, and they do it again. Okay, now you can have a technical foul. Well, you didn't warn us. Well, I warned you as soon as I did this. Okay? They can't say, well, you didn't warn us at the next dead ball. Well, you didn't give me a chance because y'all can't play defense, right? If you do that, that's their warning. Okay? If they do it again before you get to report it, next dead ball or whatever, you could have a technical foul. Okay? Any questions about that? All right. Clear as mud? Right? Okay. Any other questions? Again, don't go looking for these. And remember, if they're trying to fool you and they are a bad actor, put a flop on